hole.
Guys, here's the X-Maxx. It needs a rebuild, but the trouble is if I rebuild it, then I won't want to use it properly and just look after it too much. So what I think I'm going to do is get a brand new X-Maxx and keep that one sort of nice-ish, and then just fix this one up and keep it as a bit of a beater. Man, this thing's big and heavy. Body on there, so we don't need that. ESC wise, Hobby Wings seem to give the best bang for buck. Most people actually fit this one, the Max 5, but it's big, and I don't know if you've seen them on pictures of X-Maxes. You have to put a little plate above the standard mount and put it onto there, put sort of centre of gravity up and all that stuff. So in my old X-Maxx, I've ran this one and it fits inside almost perfect. Just got to trim a little bit off. It can do 8S, does 6S really well, doesn't overheat. So I'm going to put this one back into the new X-Maxx. Well, let's crack her open. Here's all the stuff you get in the box. As you can see on here, it's a really nice compact 8S ESC. Okay, so that almost goes in, like almost. We're a bit tight on here, and this thing here gets in the way when you try and plug these in. So you've got to cut this thing off. And that thing, you haven't got to cut it off, but alright, I'll leave that one on for now. We'll just get rid of this. Wires on. Some people reckon that this makes the chassis stronger, this bit, but nah, I don't know. I haven't got it on my other one, and it hasn't broke there yet, so I think it'll probably be alright. Remember, right up to the edge, as far as you can get it to the edge, and sticking down like that. I'm going to put a cable tie around here just to give it a bit of extra. Right, and these should fit straight in here. They're tight, but that's good. It means I won't fly out when you're using it. Got some good videos coming up, guys. A lot planned. Make sure you subscribe so that when we put the new videos up, you won't miss anything. So we're going to have this X-Maxx for the nice stuff and the other one for some carnage. We've got quite a lot of stuff lined up what we're going to do with that one. Right, so that's in. Got to plug this back into channel 2. Connector wise, I like these. Traxxas connectors are good, but they're not compatible with any other makes of cars, so I've got all these on my other stuff, so I can share lipos and batteries with other things in the same charge lead, so I'm going to put them on. Right, well there it is, it's all in there nearly. Just got to hook up my cables and then we can see if it works. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That'll do. That's going off. We'll do a bit of soldering. I like running these batteries here. Fluions, so basically just got to glue this switch in using a bit of hot glue. Got that quick before it sets. Right, that'll do, I think. All I've got to do is sort the drive shafts out and then we're good to go. Right, the trouble with the standard drive shafts, they've got a really weak pin in there. And when that pin snaps, that happens. It will mash all this up, it will mash all that lot up. And if you just put a new pin in there, it will snap in like a few minutes. So what I always do now is, before I even use a brand new shaft, take the pin out, cut a bit of this spring steel stuff off and put that in there. And I've never broken one of these yet. I got these off of eBay. The only trouble is, it says 3mm. 3mm is what you want, but these are like 3 point. Get me a little measuring thing out. Tiny bit over. So if you try and put that pin through there, it doesn't fit. So you've got to drill it out a little bit. And because this stuff's hardened, it doesn't like drilling. So I've got this little grinding thing for a Dremel that just sort of went in there and yeah, got it to work. So what I'm going to do is, on my old X-Maxx, it's actually got the harder shafts in there. So what I'm going to do is take them shafts out of that one and put them into this one. And these, I'm going to reuse them, because if you put in a heavy duty pin, then they still actually sort of last alright. You can kind of get away with using them again. So that's what I'm going to do with the other one. Because what I'm going to do with the old X-Maxx is use the old X-Maxx just for doing crazy stuff and destroying it, and use this one as a nice one. And when stuff gets a bit tatty on this one, I can transfer the parts from this onto the old one, and keeping this one nice and new, and having a crap one, well, I don't care about bashing too much. Jesus. Nearly done. All I've got to do now is change the gearing. So 18 tooth pinion is up there. Part number 6491. Steel spur gears 6449X. Right, I wouldn't recommend using these things when you're doing stuff up, really. Sort of for taking stuff off, but I wouldn't recommend doing stuff up with it. Change the gearing, you've got to change the position of the motor. That's 4 screws under here. When you get to the last one, just put your hand underneath and push the motor in, because there's little dowel pins in there and stuff, and you don't want it tugging on the wires. Right, there's them. Yes, I can get away with that. Right, if you look in here, there's a gearing chart. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. Let's try to get that in there. Right, there's a gearing chart. So standard gearing is C and C. So if you look down there, 1554. That's the standard gearing. I'm going to be running at 1854. So if you come down to here, 1854. That means you have to put the pins into I. So you pull these pins out of the here and put them into I. I'm going to get some pliers because I can't reach that properly. That one into I as well. And in theory, you put that motor back in, wherever it lines up, that'll be in the perfect position. You haven't got to mess about with any meshing or gearing or anything like that. You just line them 2 pins up. There we go. Right, that's in. Put the screws back in. And the mesh should be good to go. Right, it's the same again. Keep your hand on the motor as you turn it over. Get the screws back in. Not that one. I really wouldn't recommend using these for doing stuff up again. Now you're probably alright just to put them in if you're careful, and then do the last little bit by hand. But if you try and do them up properly with this thing, you'll strip the screws out, like guaranteed. Right, so let me just go and get my hand driver. Right, don't go tight on any of these screws on this whole car. It's so easy to over tighten them and strip your threads out because they're using machine screws going into plastic. Maybe self-tappers would have been better, I don't know, but just don't force it, you'll strip it. Right. New pinion, which is an 18 tooth, part number 6491. Spur gear that I put in is 6449X. Same as the standard, but still. Cover back in. Make sure the long screws go towards the centre of the truck, short screws on the outside. And then the last little bit by hand. Right guys, there you have it, it's ready. It's ready, take it out and give it a go. Hope you enjoyed that video. In my opinion, that's the best way to put an X-Maxx together for better durability and a bit more speed, better reliability without going crazy. You know, some of the Castle setups, silly money. ESC sits up there, the motor sits up here, you haven't got any dust guards. Loads of work, loads of weight, loads of money, and I think like this is the best way price wise, and it just everything sits in there nice. So yeah, let's try it out. Right, we're nearly good to go. Right guys, we're done. Ready to test it out. The only thing I do want to change is maybe the diffs later on. But I don't know which ones to use because I've used the HD ones before and I've stripped them. Standard ones I've shimmed them and they've stripped. HD ones, shimmed them, stripped. So I forgot the company. Kershaw, I don't know how to say it. The same company that makes the motor mount for the bigger ESC, Kershaw Designs or Kershaw or whatever it is. They make some diffs apparently, but they're not out yet. So once they're out, I'll get them and I'll put them in here to see how they go. So right, let's test it out.